Hey guys, Will here, golf psychologist. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a 2x4 to help you with your full shoulder turn. Let's go ahead and get started. What does a 2x4 have to do with the shoulder turn? Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But one of the questions I get asked a lot in lessons with my students is, do you have to make a full shoulder turn? Well, the answer to that is no. You need to do as much as you can, but you need to do it in the right way. Otherwise, you could experience a lot of aches and pains from doing it wrong. And it's all about the way you set up your body. You have to move certain joints and ligaments in a way that feels natural and that helps you, as opposed to setting up the wrong way and using too much effort and not getting accomplished what you want. So what I see a lot of times is in the setup that the shoulders are too level, and then the takeaway and the first move with the shoulders is so far off that when you get to the top, you can't get anywhere close to a full shoulder turn when that right shoulder moves away from the body as you start your swing. What you want is that trail shoulder moving back. And so one of the motions I like is this idea of pulling a lawnmower and letting that scapula move back as you're taking it away and getting into that backswing, letting the scapula, the right shoulder blade, get closer to the spine. And if you do that, you can see that it's a lot easier to get that full turn. But it's got to move in that direction when you start your swing. And so you can practice that just putting one hand on the club, pulling that back, pulling that back. The other thing you can do is pull out a 2x4, because again, it has to do with your setup. And most people set up with the right arm too dominant and the right shoulder too high. You got to have your left shoulder slightly higher than the right, because you're reaching farther with the right hand. So if I set up and I position my right hand on the club, my right shoulder lowers, my right knee, my right hip all lower. And so when I take my grip, I'm already set up in a position where the shoulder blades are offset. So it's easier to rotate and get that coil. To exaggerate that, step on a 2x4 with your lead leg. For the right-handed golfer, your left leg, and you're going to exaggerate that feeling of being lower with the right shoulder. And again, you're going to practice that, maybe that lawnmower feel of pulling the cord, getting the right shoulder to go back to the spine and to connect to that vertebrae with the scapula and the shoulder blade, and then practice getting to the top and feeling that connection point of the shoulder blade toward the spine throughout the entire backswing. Now you're going to maintain that as you start your downswing. You're not going to let it back out, because that would be swinging outside the plane on the downswing. So get it going against the spine on the backswing, and then you just hold it there coming into the downswing. And what happens is, by setting up with the 2x4, you're exaggerating that. Psychologically, our brain has to exaggerate something, the feeling of it, in order to get it down. So if you're trying to do something on square ground, put that lead foot up off the ground and you really exaggerate the feeling of that right shoulder being lower. Of course, you're not going to be that low when you actually play, but it gives you a way to kind of speed up the process and learn it easier. Now, don't hit balls with your foot on that 2x4. You'll slip off of it and you could hurt yourself. But you can practice, do a lot of practice swings, and then gradually move up to hitting balls with working on that technique of the way that you set up, getting that right shoulder to drop because your hand is lower, getting the right knee and right hip to drop. And then that'll get you in a position to pull that shoulder blade back to the spine, and it gets you into that full shoulder turn a lot easier than taking that shoulder away from the body in the initial takeaway. So give that a try. I think it'll work for you. In fact, I know it will. It's just going to take a few minutes of practice, maybe for a week or so, to get that down, and then start doing the drills and hitting some balls. I think it'll work for you, and best of luck to you. See you next time.